All right, Honors 10, today we're going to talk about nominative versus objective versus possessive pronouns. Now, all of these types of pronouns have a specific place or reason to be used in a sentence. So let's begin with nominative pronouns. Nominative pronouns are pronouns that I think of are the ones that can start a sentence. But think of where you've heard the word nominative before. Last semester, we studied predicate nominatives in parts of a sentence, and if you'll remember, gerunds can work as the predicate nominative of a sentence. So you're going to use nominative case pronouns, the pronouns on the list here, when the pronoun is acting as either the subject or the predicate nominative, which means that it follows a linking verb. Now, when they follow a linking verb, it can sound wrong, but I'll show you in the examples how to think of it like a math equation so that it makes a little bit more sense to you.
All right, as we take a look at these first few examples, I want you to learn one trick. Anytime that you have a compound piece where the other half is a pronoun, I want you to cross out the person's name and, so you can just look at the pronoun. Once we do that, we can see that this pronoun is working as the subject of the sentence, which is always going to be a nominative case pronoun. So we would choose the nominative he. In the second example, I should see the linking verb telling me that this pronoun is working as a predicate nominative, again, meaning I need the nominative case pronoun he. Now, I know it sounds weird to say the student who loves English is he, but if we take a look at this like math class, it'll make sense. Let me show you. In math class, I can say that x plus 2 equals 4. And in math class, I can switch the equation around the equal sign. So I could also say 4 equals x plus 2. Now, that same idea applies to this second example. Is our equal sign. So I should be able to switch the sentence around. Would you say he or him is the student who loves English? Well, here it makes sense to say he. So if I can switch it around, you should use the pronoun that makes sense once it is flipped. The nominative case will always sound a little awkward when it's being used as a predicate nominative.
Now, objective case pronouns, write down this list too, are pronouns that you use when the pronoun works as an object, objective and object. Okay, so where do we see objects in a sentence? Well, as a direct object, as an indirect object, or as the object of the preposition. So let's take a look at a few examples here.
Now for objective case examples, again I have a compound element with the pronoun. Cross out that other person's name and then take a look at the sentence. Here I see an action verb, which means that the pronoun is working as a direct object, which means I need the objective case, which is me. In the second example, I again see an action verb. Map is my direct object, but we gave the map to whom? To the pronoun. So this is an indirect object, which means I again need the objective case us. And lastly, with this third example, I see the word with, which is the object of which is a preposition, which means that the pronoun is the object of the preposition, meaning I need the objective case them.
Possessive case pronouns, a third list for you to write down, can be used obviously when a pronoun needs to show ownership or a relationship between two things, but for our purposes, we also want to use a possessive case pronoun when the pronoun modifies a noun or a gerund. But we are never going to use a possessive case pronoun to modify a participial. Let's look at a few examples.
Now with possessive pronouns, I want to make sure that possessive pronouns modify gerunds, but not participles. So here, searching the area is a gerund, working as the subject of the sentence. So I would use a possessive pronoun there, like are. For number 2, again, I have this gerund working as the object of the preposition. Here's the prep. So I'm going to use the possessive form his. But in the third example, saw is my action verb. Climbing the mountain is not a gerund. It's a participial describing him. He, his, or him is the direct object, who or what we saw. So here I use the objective case, him, not the possessive case.